Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope that you all managed to connect. Tonight, I have some special edition merch. My daughter designed this for me. She said I cannot be a YouTuber without merch. So, as you can see, somebody in the background is here already. So, I promised tonight that I'm connecting for a special purpose, and that's the lovely comments of one special progression fellow from Nordnet. And I promised to answer all his comments because I believe that they some embrace some sort of a negative trend that has to be clarified for sure. For that reason, we'll jump directly into that topic. Of course, we will comment also on the very important news from today regarding Iris Capital. But let's start already with the comments. I see that I have quite a lot of guests connecting into Substack. Hi to everybody. Andrei, Cosmin, one person. I don't know who they are. Peter Yul Mortensen. Okay. So, as I said today, the questions are on the negative side, but also the positive factor is that we need to answer them, and after we answer them, I hope that this will park for good the thematics of progression and his fellows. Of course, first of all, I need to disclaim something. I understand that this guy doesn't own shares. This is something that I found out because I don't have access to Nordnet. This is something that requires Meet ID or a bank account, which I don't have. Therefore, we will go. I made just a short brief on all the questions and all the comments that he has made in the last, let's say, 1 month. And I'll try to answer to all of them here because, like I said, I cannot answer to them directly. I saw also on Nordnet that a lot of people invited him to come live to my Substack, or her. I don't know if she is a he or a she or a NEET. So yeah, let's start. First question: does Shape Robotics have any money or accounting? First of all, I don't know what is the connection between money and accounting, but let's. I know money means finance, accounting means accrual, but let's not go necessarily in those terms. We have accounting in subsidiaries and we have money in subsidiaries. We always had accounting in subsidiaries and money in subsidiaries. Shape Robotics Denmark didn't exist more than a shell company. You can call it a SPAC, you can call it a holding, you can call it however you want. The accounting was done in the subsidiaries by specialized CFOs and auditors and was only consolidated in Denmark. 2. Was the Ostre-Landstret ruling merely a misstep by the city court? You have to ask them. It is very... I have a saying, which is something that you need also as professionals to guide your life. You never comment the decision of the court. The court is the court. They are the supreme decision. I don't know what they're saying. Is a new bankruptcy decree on the horizon? Yes, of course there is a new bankruptcy decree on the horizon because the court has said that the initial bankruptcy decree has to go to retrial. But the good news is that we are already in contact with those that have submitted the initial bankruptcy petition, and we are most likely going to revert it. So at this moment, there is no bankruptcy decree on the horizon other than the one that needs the trial. And in that one, we are negotiating directly with those that asked for the bankruptcy. Did the trustee truly find only 73 crowns of value? You have to ask him. He's not talking to anybody. In my opinion, he's a completely unprofessional human being. Are all reported assets value imaginary? Another Harry Potter question. Yes, they're imaginary. Are current shares worthless even with the Iris recapitalization? Prada, what can you say about this question? Yes, they are worthless. Was Sanako asset stripped by the CEO? Yes, I took all the money and ran away with my hot lover from Ukraine. It's absolutely absurd. How can somebody ask questions like this one, and based on what? Based on a report from a trustee that had no authority to act in a subsidiary without proper court filings? Stupid. Where did the 30 million go? Which 30 million? The 30 million from Sanako? The 30 million from Sanako, it was a loan agreement that we did for the contract with the Polish government and Bechtle as a partner. All the money went into buying goods and services for a 40 million euro contract that's on the table. That financing was financing for contract. So we presented those things. I don't know how people ask me these questions when, again, financing for contracts has been done through Finvera, and all the money has meant into buying goods and services and paying for some of the debt that Shape Robotics had, which is absolutely okay. It's absolutely normal. This was the purpose of the contract. I don't know how that company became overnight bankrupt. It's absolutely absurd. Has the CEO been convicted in any Romanian court? No, I have never been convicted in any Romanian court and will never be convicted in any kind of court in the world. Did the CEO and his wife file a creditor claim to deplete the company? I'm not married. Why was the A4 situation undisclosed for 2 years? No, it was never undisclosed. It was always presented as it is. We do not believe that we owe any kind of money to A4. And A4 has pulled the plug. They're tried for 2 years to push us into bankruptcy. We fight back even today. They have absolutely no claim they did something wrong, and they did not inform our board accordingly. I was not part of the process when we uplisted. They didn't inform the board accordingly to regarding the GBR regulations, which again I believe that's a bullshit. That regulation doesn't stand for our companies, and I can prove it with financing from Finvera, which is the same as AIFO, with financing from AIF, which is the same as AIFO, because they don't know how to do their job. So either the board and the former CEO had no idea what to do when they uplisted the company, and then it's not the fault of AIFO. And I asked AIFO directly to submit to me all the paper regarding that situation for more than 1 year, no reply. I'm doing it right now daily, so hopefully that every day they will receive an email from us to ask for accountancy. And second, if they didn't let us know, then it's their fault. Will the shares ever trade again? From our opinion, the shares should have traded day one since the bankruptcy was annulled, as they were trading before. The situation was to be reverted exactly as the day before the bankruptcy. It's written very clearly in the court filings. Nasdaq, I think, are from another planet again. Why does Danske own lawyer end up as a neutral trustee? Yeah, that's Denmark. I don't know. Illegal in every country in this world to have a trustee lawyer for the main creditor. I think it's absurd, but this is it. I went very fast through those questions because most of them are toxic and unprofessional, but I answered all of them. And yeah, let's go now to live questions, and hopefully somebody can come back to those same questions that are extremely, I don't know how to call them, misleading to say the least. Okay. Marcel Magnifique. Very beautiful name. Do you have any proof regarding AIFO not properly informing the board? Was it their responsibility to do so? Was the legal reference for that? Very good question, Marcel. Very exactly what I was trying to explain a little bit earlier. Let's be very precise. When the company has decided to uplist, again, I was not part of that. I was doing sales. The company decided to uplist to the main market. From my point of view, was a huge mistake. The company didn't have the metrics to uplist to the main market, meaning that there was no reason to uplist to the main market, and everything that was done at that moment was totally unprofessional. Uplisting without IPO. We spent, I think, 2.5 million euros for nothing, absolutely nothing. It was a mistake from the board at that time, and for that reason, I have no comment. It's their decision. Regarding the proper information informing the board, my personal opinion is the AFO didn't know about that. AFO was doing a restructuring at that time. 50 people were fired in that time from AFO for different problems, and even the account manager that we had was fired. So I have no idea whether AFO informed the board or what happened, or the board didn't do the job. Honestly, why is this very important is because all the sales strategy was designed to sell from Denmark and to use subsidiaries as um, basically just representation on the ground. So the sales was supposed to be done from Denmark, but by losing the support from Danish banks and Danish AFO, basically we had to turn the company into what is called a holding. So that's the real issue, because we started from that point to finance the company from daughter to mother instead from mother to daughter. It's very toxic kind of financing, extremely expensive. And yeah, I can prove very easily why we got to this point. But most of these things I inherited. So I just fought as much as I could with the management at that time, because again, I'm CEO, but the CEO responds to the board. The board decides finally. I had an audit committee, and those are the people that decide on strategic, let's say, grounds. So my opinion is that again, AFO did not properly inform the board, but also the board didn't do their due diligence when they uplisted. So it's somewhere in the middle. It was the responsibility of AFO to do that, because they were informed about our uplisting, and they participated with Danske Bank in writing the prospectus. So if you ask me, I think that the way they handled the situation was extremely toxic. What's the legal reference for that? Legal reference for what? I don't know exactly what you mean, Marcel. If you can rephrase that question, I will be more than happy to answer to it. No, it was sarcasm, Peter. Of course, they are not worthless. They used to be worthless in a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, maybe a week ago. I'm trying to make them not worthless, but Peter, you have to fight for your right as Nasdaq retail investors, because you know how it is in this situation. Corporate has failed. So Shape Robotics, to be honest, is a company. Okay, I will not use to be honest. I'm always honest. It's stupid. It's just like I don't know why I repeat this kind of phrasing, maybe in English, because it's not my main language. But coming back to the topic, the way retail investors are trading in Denmark is rather peculiar, to be honest. Again, meaning that the market is quite small, so all of the retailers kind of trade in the same trades. And even if you look at regression, he's always trading those kind of retail small stocks with high win rates and a lot of risk also linked to that. So sounds like a casino with a lot of people running the strings, pulling the strings behind the back door. That's what happened also with Shape Robotics. Small company was attacked hard by some crooked raiders from Carnegie and other. Everybody knows right now what was the situation, and yeah, the way things happen right now, our retailers have to rally, and it's something unoriginal for. Or not simple for the Danish society, because people don't like to be revolutionary there. So you have to go together, go to the door of Nasdaq and ask them to start trading. They're holding your money without absolutely any reason to do that. So at this moment, you have the right to have access to your money. There is no doubt about it. You traded before the bankruptcy was annulled, so you can trade now. There is no discussion here, no interpretation. The only interpretation is that Nasdaq, and I can understand that, is very scared, because this situation has never occurred. They answered just in a couple of lines, so very simple answer today. They answered, you we cannot trade because we have to find if there is a petition against you, and then when you find the petition, it's absurd how they handle the situation. But again, they are scared because they can make mistakes. The situation never happen, and without what it is called public interest, they will not act. So we have to show public interest. In my opinion, everybody has to, I don't know, write a petition or some sort of public address and try to figure out why Nasdaq is keeping the shares from not trading. I have no idea how to help. We just published a major news. Iris is backing us. The only chance we really have to solve the matter is to raise capital and to move out of this danger zone. But Marcel is asking me something regarding the pump and dump. Consider the company was already on a restructuring process because of the A4 withdrawal. Why do you claim that is the reason for bankruptcy? Bankruptcy means more debt than possibility to pay. So do you claim the pump and dump is the sole or main reason for the bankruptcy? I'm not claiming. It is true. It's no claim. I'm never doing claims. Claims are not proven by facts. So I will explain very easy. A4 is not really that important. A4 is not really a problem. A4 is just mostly a strategic change that didn't allow us to go finance from Danish banks, debt finance. But let me be very precise. We had an agreement between CEO and board at the beginning of the year to do a convertible loan, 25 million euros. This was voted. It's in my budget. I have approved it. And it was based on the fact that I wanted to move from debt financing to normal market financing. So you have to understand that a company like ours, publicly listed company, cannot have debt financing. It's stupid to have debt financing instead of accessing money from shareholders, cheap money, or find money from investment banking. So my plan and always my mandate after the crazy year 24 with the pump and dump was to go to the market. And for that reason, we were ready to raise capital, and I had an offer for a convertible loan. It was a convertible loan that would have saved the company completely, give us the money that we needed for the project in Poland. Everything was on the line. The problem occurred when the convertible loan company, which I will not name at this moment because it's not really that important, it was a large investment company that you can hint with which company was, from US, was looking at our metrics from the stock exchange. And I think it's very important to understand that retailers don't have the same information, of course, as investors, seasoned investors. So there are models, there are statistics that you cannot obtain from the information that a retailer can receive. So they notified us that there is no way to invest in a company that had such a major crisis on the stock of trust on the stock exchange, because everybody knew about that. So just to repeat, Lars Stopholm from Carnegie has written a so-called back of the envelope, which is absolutely not true. This is not a back of the envelope report. It's a full-fledged analysis done with resources from Carnegie and sent out to the world of investment by Carnegie. I saw that analysis on the table of the convertible loan company. And that analysis showed that the company's share should trade at a higher price. That was a signal for a pump. It was done immediately after his best friend, Martin Bungard, has purchased a huge amount of shares, and both of them were partners in the same company called Airbio. That guy has extracted at least proven at this moment 10 million euros worth of cash out of the retail investors and out of some major investors that have bought outside Denmark when the pump signal was sent. So I had no more face, no more possibility to discuss with serious strategic investors to put money in, because of the single fact that nobody has made this public. That meant that we were part of the process. So everybody suspected that we were part of the pump management, because actually it is considered typical in small markets like Denmark. And you can see that indeed on First North, a lot of companies extract cash from retailers together with the management through this kind of IPOs at very low price. And you know the drill. I'm not going to comment on other people's jobs and company. But AIFO should have been repaid from a convertible loan. We should have had money from that. That was impossible without going public and cleaning house. This is what's requested for us. I came back to the board again, requested this. They denied. They quit. That's the reason why the board quit, because they didn't want to be part of this, knowing that in Denmark they will be destroyed like I was publicly. It's very simple, nothing complicated. It's just complicated for people that have not been in this fight. So, did I answer to your question, Marcel? Because you wrote 3 questions that kind of sound the same. I just want to make sure that I was precise enough for you. Maybe I do explain very simple that we ran out of cash as expected. We always knew that we'll run out of cash end of the year. If the convertible loan doesn't. What do you mean there is no factual evidence? What do you mean this bad luck? I don't understand. There is factual evidence and I presented all of them, and there is no bad luck. It's just criminal activity from crooked corporate traders. Very typical. Nothing extraordinary. You see that every day. It's just that you don't want to believe it because it's done in Denmark, who's supposed to be very trustful. Actually, it's not. It's very corrupt. Good. Like every country, though, it's not special. The only difference is that we Romanians lived in corruption all day long, so we can smell it much easier than Western Europeans. Good, good, good. Marcel, any other questions? Who has any other questions? Very important. Not to forget. My favorite journalist, and this is for you, Jesper, I think Hoiberg. Hope I got the name correctly, from Finance. Of course, although I truly believe that Finance has done, and this is factual, by the way, not connecting any dots, has done a cover up for the pump and dump, and of course to protect the Danish state. I can tell you that I will answer to Finance. I will keep a very decent level of communication with everybody. But and for that reason, I promised Jesper earlier, because he asked me some questions. I said I'm going to live. I will answer them in the live. So I will read his questions, and yeah, let's go to that. And I respect his job, but I don't respect his the way he handled the whole situation, and basically misinformed everybody. How much money? So first question: how much money is Iris willing to invest? So the information is public. The equity line gets up to 15 million euros. So I think that it's easy answer there. You have just to read the company announcement. How much money do you need from them in a first tranche? Honestly, it's quite difficult to say today, because I don't know the level of the debt Shape has. Prior to the bankruptcy, I can say that the level of debt was closely to 2.7 million, not all of them due. Now, after the bankruptcy proceeding and the raid from or not the raid, the lack of knowledge in the management of or bad will of the knowledge of the management of the trustee, we have 400 or 500 million crowns as debt. Of course, I have to evaluate that, because most of the debt came from the bankruptcy claims. Just to give you an explanation, UniCredit has a, let me just connect to the portal. I don't want to, because as you know, I have just made public a portal where everybody can check live the situation of the share and everything. So that's not the share of the company itself. This is the portal. So just to give an example, UniCredit has 160 million crowns contested by the trustee, of course, as all of them claim, which derives from the fact that they had um, I don't know how to explain it very easy. Basically, the credit in Romania was guaranteed by a corporate guarantee, let's call it like that, in a simple way, was collateralized with a guarantee from the main company, which is Shape Robotics AS, and it had a very simple default condition, which was the bankruptcy. So the moment the bankruptcy was declared, we started receiving this default credits on all subsidiaries. So right now I can say that Romania has defaulted on all credits because of the bankruptcy. So we have to figure out what to do. And out of the total 539 claims million crowns on claims filed, which okay, 23 million is basically intercompany, so we'll take it aside. We are talking about 379 million crowns, which basically should not have be in this report. So let me share the screen to make sure that everybody can see this. 1 second. So you have this kind of very simple way of looking at the shares, the claims. Now, so you have right now a series of creditors that are all listed here, and most of them. So, like for instance, look at Alisa Panki. Alisa Panki is 14 million crowns. Is one of the creditors from. It's a bank that credited Sanaco, and they defaulted because of the bankruptcy. Stupid. I don't, and honestly, I don't know how. I'm trying right now to discuss with all of them, but I don't have any information from the trustees. Therefore, I'm speaking. I'm trying to reconstruct the discussions or the situation out of this direct engagement with every creditor that has submitted a claim. Till now, I received 6 or 7 responses, but I don't have yet the paper trail, and Kronman Reumert refuses to send us anything that they have worked on, which is, by the way, catastrophic, if you ask me. I don't know how they can behave like that. And on top of that, I have something important to share today. Okay, let me check a lot of my questions. Marcel, a serious fund. It's like I should invite you in a live video. A serious fund would not be interested in the stock, considering the latest developments. Too many red flags / smell. Why is Iris committed, if I can call it like that, to providing a line for you? Are there any fundamentals tied up to their decision, or what's the reasoning based upon? Marcel, what is so many red flags? Because I don't understand. It's very simple. Everything is very straightforward. The company was victim of pump and dump. We are fighting for that. Everybody that understands basic investment and knows that this is the way. So of course, smart investors would want to participate, and yeah, you have to ask them what is happening, or should I smell a question that even Iris is some sort of a fraud, or what do you imply? Cosmin, how are the creditors responding so far? Are they positive? I think that the creditors are relieved because right now they have a chance to get some money before only Danske would have gotten any money, because Thijs decided that he represents only Danske. And I was saying that today I got an email from Thijs announcing that he's not returning the money from the company, if you can imagine, but he's putting the money in a escrow account and I have to discuss with Danske whether Danske will release that money. So it's absolutely out of. So he knows very well that that money belonged to the estate. He moved the money to the estate. It belongs to the company, but he refuses to hand over the money. But he doesn't hand over the money to Danske because he knows he will make a crime, and he puts it into the escrow. I need you all to understand something very important. The trustee in this situation is the lawyer of Danske Bank at this moment, because he was the lawyer of Danske Bank that signed the settlement with us. Therefore, when he annulled the settlement and went to court asking for bankruptcy, he knew that he had to return the money to the company, which he did. That's why the money is in the company. It never reached Danske Bank. Never, because it was not Danske Bank's money, as they have canceled our agreement. So right now, what they're doing and why they don't answer is because they're waiting for this bankruptcy claim to be retrialed, and they think this will happen very fast. So what I can guarantee you is that it will not happen very fast, and it will not be that the same scenario as it was before, in the sense that they will immediately take over the company and say goodbye to every penny other than Danske's. You have to remember, Danske is the most corrupt bank in the world. They were just, I don't know, they just got out of a 200 billion money laundering case a couple of months ago. Okay, so this is the Danske Bank that we're talking about. Therefore, I don't know what is more to say about them, but I can guarantee you that we'll fight tooth and nail. I discussed today, and we already submitted a criminal case to the European office, EPPO, because that money that they are sequestering belongs to Shape Robotics Romania. It was a loan given from European funds money, and what the trustee is doing is basically embezzlement. If you want, this is the reality. So we're going all the way in. I guarantee you that Thais will never practice law in the next years. So we'll figure it out. This will not remain like this. Okay, so the creditors, in conclusion, are responding as anybody would respond. They have a slither of hope, let's call it like that. Marcel is spamming. No, sorry, I am spamming you, Mark, but I have a lot of questions. I'm just asking, if you ask them why do they want to invest if institutions are bullish, including Merrill, I thought there is some undisclosed info that might be useful. It's nothing undisclosed. It's something that, look, who does this what we do now? Who has ever won in Denmark a case like this one? Who fights against the system in this way and also wins? Of course, we have the fundamentals, we had the business, we had the contracts, we have everything. We are a very nice company that has provided educational tools for children across the world. It's normal to invest in such a company. Only people from finance believe that it's a fraud, because I was involved in a fraud case 10 years ago. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. Ask me, Marcel. I like to be challenged, so I don't have any problems because your questions are good. Or is it Marcel? Maybe you're Romanian. No, you're magnific. Let's keep this for another. No, it's only 33 minutes. It's not a problem. I see that there are a lot of people connected, so we can discuss a lot of things. I will take this out because this is there are no messages coming from other platforms. I still do not understand why the trustee is not giving you access to the books. What have you done so that the trustee isn't trusting you? Did the court decision obliges him? Marcel, are you Danish? Just curious. And then I will answer, if you can answer this question to me, because I think that only in Denmark we can discuss about trust versus obligation. The trustee cannot trust me. I don't need his trust. It's his obligation to give me the papers. It's his obligation to give me anything. The court doesn't have to oblige him. It's very simple. If I was CEO till, I don't know, September 23, and then you have been CEO of the company till March 24, and I come back, you have to give me the papers, which is the same format as me giving you the papers. It's not normal, it's obligation. How can I hide the papers? And of course, in 59 days, he has signed agreements, he made claims, he discussed with creditors from, like I said, from 3.7 million euros, he destroyed value to 400 million crowns. I don't know how much that it's, 50 million euros. Is his obligation, it's his obligation to do the best for the company, not to give you the books. Where did you get that information from? It's simply not true. He was he was in charge of the company for 59 days. He did a lot of things in the name of the company. How I'm supposed to run a company that was managed by another person for 59 days without having the information what he has done? What are you talking about? I don't follow you. Let's see what the dialogue holds. What else? Any other questions in the meantime? Let's wait to see questions. If you were truly invested in saving the company, you could have asked the partners regarding the developments. Which partners? I don't understand. And I'm truly invested in saving the company, otherwise I wouldn't speak with you at this hour. You know, people seem to forget one thing. I was fired as CEO by Days. Okay, I had no obligation to return to the company. I was doing just fine outside the company. I don't get your questions, Marcel. Can you please try to focus a little bit and write like some question that people can follow, because I think it's important. I kind of know where you're hinting at, but yeah. Louise, did the trustee had access to the SR booking? What is booking? You mean the accounting? Of course, yeah. I'm just waiting for the questions to come. Let's see if there are questions in the other side. Any way to force their hand to return the money? No, they could go to jail. It's not a problem if they don't return the money. Why can't we trade the stock then if everything is good? Honestly, I don't really follow this train of logic. It's beyond me. I cannot answer. It's stupid. Why we cannot use it? It's because people don't know how to do their job. It's Denmark. In Denmark, nobody wants to take any kind of decision if you don't force them. If there's something that they didn't do, it seems a bit off, something not adding up. How the company be in proper shape and not function in the same time? But it's not in proper shape. Who said that it's in proper shape? I'm not discussing anything out of the ordinary here. So let me try to be very specific. Law is not, it's not less than mathematics or physics. It's quite precise when it comes to company. We have been deemed bankrupt, which stopped the trading because we didn't go to trial to defend ourselves. At the moment of the bankruptcy, we were not bankrupt. We just received a credit facility, an equity line of 15 million euros, the same equity line we have now. Okay. So there was no reason for the bankruptcy at that time. Our delays in payments were maybe 2 months old, absolutely irrelevant for a company that was already looking at financing. We already made public the pump and dump and everything, and the share price started to recover. You saw the recovery from the crash and everything. Okay, the crash that was triggered by the finance investigation and everything. Okay, so from that moment till the 5th of January, the company was bankrupt, destroyed, liquidated by a trustee. Okay, so now we're returning today to the 5th of January, when the company was in good shape, the share price was going up, everybody was trading, we were expecting the EGM, was 15 days before the EGM, and guess what? I have to run the company like it was that day, but after 59 days of destruction by the trustee. So those 59 days cannot be deleted. If somebody would give me back those 559 days, then the company, first of all, remember, we had an EGM. The trustee canceled the EGM where we had right to issue shares and get us sales out of the um, danger zone. So it's easy. Those 59 days cannot be deleted. Although the court, like a very smart court, has said something very specific. You have not been served correctly, therefore the bankruptcy was wrongfully issued. Go to retrial. Perfect. Now we wait for them. Uh, now we wait for them to issue to us the petition in a proper way. I have instructed the court what is my address, the way to send me the petition. Everything is perfect. Therefore, the second the new petition come, we will know, we will defend it. Simple as that. In the meantime, we don't have an operational company. I'm alone. Look at me. It's just me and a couple of guys that are my friends helping me, and my daughter that makes my t-shirts. So give me back the company. This is simple. It's answering to you the situation, Marcel. This is not typical. We don't have a company that it has been destroyed in 59 days. I don't have access to accounts, to papers, nothing. How can we have just a wish and a number of people that can support this and to make this functional again? Yeah. But we still have contracts, we still have products, we still have assets, we still have theoretically people willing to join us, so we can do that. But it's not simple as that. 59 days of destruction cannot be returned. Okay. Do I have access to my Shape Robotics account books? No, I don't have access to anything. I didn't receive anything. Bjarke Rasmussen, have you reached out to the industry peers for possibilities of a merger with the company with a solid balance sheet? I have a lot of ideas, but it's too early to say that. It's too early. Peter, I'm apologizing. Maybe I don't pronounce the names very well, but I will say it as it is. Peter says, does the company to be tradable for the Iris deal to go through? Yes. Yes, active on Nasdaq, of course. Yeah. I assume that the books are online somewhere. Yeah, exactly. They're digital, so they're behind a digital wall somewhere in this guy's taste, I don't know, shelf or whatever he keeps it. Marcel, are you starting to understand my predicament, or you need more clarifications? Because I really appreciate the questions were quite good. Hello, Mr. Jonas, the one that made the t-shirts. I appreciate this. Yes, I'm okay with your answers for now. Why didn't you communicate all of those clearly? What do you mean? It's been communicated perfectly on my Substack. You can find exactly this explanation and all the proof and facts. It's just I find it amazing that people read finance that costs a lot of money instead of reading my free information, which is much better than anything else. Because there is a theory here. Denmark works on trust. What they try to do is to say that I'm not trustful because I don't know what I have done there and there and there and there. Okay, but I don't need to be trusted. I am bringing papers, documents. Read the papers. They do not lie. They cannot be cheated. It's documents. Read those documents. Okay. Have you got access to company Meet ID so digital can be reinstated? No, and I don't want to. Uh, the reason why I don't want to is simple because Taste has to do a handover. I'm not doing it by myself. Or Marcel, are you asking why we didn't communicate this on the proper channels? Let me try to figure out what you're actually implying. Um, Let me share the documents that I have. I have requested to the trustee, so I will put those documents here, and you can access everything that we discussed with the trustee. And I will do it after that. Okay. You are awaiting material from the trustee. Okay. Uh, are you currently awaiting that prevents you from continuing to run SR? It sounds like it's the trustee holding the key, and I wonder what papers could be so crucial for you to be able to run Shape Robotics further. Oh my God. Luis, have you ever run any companies? Because it's not like I have anything against you. I'm just asking directly, educational purposes, because I need to understand what is your level of understanding of how this works. Marcel, it's hard to follow your Substack. You write with ChatGPT and hard to follow a wall of text. Thanks, Mark. No, I'm not. I do not write with ChatGPT. And last questions: what you're actually doing now? Real facts to resume the activity. Nothing. I don't have any documents from the trustee. So, okay. Besides 2-3 million Danish crown in bank account, which is not enough if there are creditors with total claims of 400 million. Ooh. Okay, let's wait for Luis to answer to my question, and then I will try to go again. I see that Prada has. By the way, she's Prada, the cat there. It's my daughter's cat. So, can I go after Taste legally to get the documents? The police can, of course. He stole them. Uh, so, okay, just to be clear, what is not a proper answer? I don't follow. What do you want me exactly to explain? So, what are material? Okay, let me share the materials that are necessary for us to run the business. Okay, let's do it like that. Is it a good way? Okay. Let's open the chat. Wow, I did something that I don't even know what I did. 1 second. Trying to open the, excuse my screen. Okay, so the questions are here. Marcel, let me open the file and share it to you. What I have asked directly the trustee and what is his obligation to send to us, and I will explain to everybody. So let's do this very thorough. Okay. What else are you asking me in the meantime? I apologize for not. Okay, so that's what you want, Marcel. Okay, send to this. Okay, good. I have this open and I will share the screen with you right now. Let's share the screen. As you can see it, this is the letter that we have uh, sent to as official demand letter towards. I will add it to the portal also, and I will explain as thorough as I can. The company Shape Robotics is a holding company. Its values is in the subsidiaries, and basically the value of the subsidiary is the one that brings value to Shape. Therefore, when you say that you have 100% shares in the subsidiary, it means that that is the asset value that you hold. That's the value of Shape Robotics Denmark is accumulation of equity investment value out of the subsidiaries. It's very important to understand. There were no operations in Denmark. So the way you save the company doesn't have anything to do with Denmark. You have to save the subsidiaries. Is this very clear for everybody? It's irrelevant what is in Denmark. This is not a Danish company outside the fact that it's being publicly listed in Denmark. This is a Finnish, Polish, Romanian company. Okay. Activity is there. Is that very, very clear for everybody from this point on? Okay. So going further, subsidiaries had a value which was valued to zero because the trustee didn't understand how it works. He has zero experience in this situation. He's just a lawyer that does that in Denmark. Okay. So the subsidiary have a value that has to be recovered. Therefore, I need documents to understand how he protected the value of those subsidiaries, or at least how he valued them to zero, because one of the saving graces for Denmark is to sell the subsidiaries as up. So I had a question from somebody earlier, I think Bjarke, about selling. The plan is not that one to merge with somebody. The plan is to sell some of the subsidiaries, keep part of the business, and quickly recover. That is easy to do. But I need to understand the value. So I need all the documents, all the papers between the trustee and the subsidiaries, which I asked. Okay. I need to understand what happened. Then I need to understand every mail, every minute of discussions that engage the company. So the trustee has put the company in a situation that has to deliver results. So like contractual situations. Okay. Those situations, I cannot go back to the creditors and ask, why did you sign an agreement with somebody that was not legally bound to sign an agreement when he was legally bound? So for instance, most of the claims are derived from claims submitted to the trustee, not to me or to the company. Okay. And the very dangerous part here is why Sanako is bankrupt. And we have asked all the papers from for that. Sanako was not bankrupt and had a 40 million euro contract. So Sanako was generating 100,000 euros a month. There was no bankruptcy case in Sanako. I need to understand how Sanako now is bankrupt. We are locked out of one of the assets that is the most valuable. We just paid for it 9.8 million euros in less than a year ago. Okay. So I need all the papers, all the communications. I need to protect the subsidiaries. It was a disaster. This paper, it's very clear, and we will share it so that everybody can have it. Okay. Now coming back to the question, so I can understand. I can see where we are. Okay. Okay. Hi, Wojtek. Um, Luis, is that a good answer? Marcel, is that the answer you were expecting? Because maybe stupid question, but why not start a new company and take the subsidiaries in? Me, myself, to start a new company? Or who do you ask? Marcel, Sanaco was selling a software for schools. So how it is possible to have no value whatsoever? Did the Sanaco own the IP? Yeah. Of course, they own the IP. They had ton of physical assets on stock. That's the trustee. Taste. He destroyed the freaking company. How it's finally somebody sees the light. Why is Elena marked as creditor claiming 270 million? Very simple, and I have explained. When we uh, sold Story Kids, that company was owned 100% by Elena. I was working as a consultant for her because, of course, I had also other engagement. I was hired at the time by a German security company. I'm a security specialist and with a lot of background in fraud prevention. So that's why I kind of know legal stuff. But coming back to the topic, yeah, can somebody brief Louise or you watch the recording? Andrei, do some work for me. Brief Louise if you're not sleeping, please. Because she had good questions and now I understand. Sanaco was selling software for schools. Are we back to that? So how is this deal okay? Okay, going back to the creditor claim. When we sold the company to Shape, it was a transaction that was not monetary transaction. It was a share swap. Okay, and the agreement we had with the board and the management from day one was that we will receive a warrant agreement that is equal to 25% of the revenue generated by the business, and this is how we got to this point because yeah, didn't get paid. So all the business came from Story Kids, 97% generated by the Romanian acquisition, and we got only let's say 5 million out of that, something like that, mostly in shares that are valued at a very high price today. So yeah, it's from our contract. It's from the contract of Elena when she sold the company. Absolutely unfortunate event because most of our money has been sent to zero. What are you saying, Marcel? I'm sorry. This is not like a live. I see this a little bit, and I can lose the train of thought. I'm not talking only with you. So when you put the question, put the context, please, because I will get tired afterwards. I apologize, but it is what it is. Wojtek, by the way, did you call the trustee today? Wojtek is the representing Montes Capital, which is the company that we bought, or the public fund. Actually, it's a public fund from Poland, state-owned, partially. That we did a share swap for Skriware, and he was very supportive to us. And I asked him today to call the trustee and to put a little bit of pressure. Has the trustee explained what Marcel, the trustee, and me have exchanged? I sent him 25 mails and he answered 4 lines. But there's something that maybe you can ask the trustee, because there is no problem if you put, in Denmark it's simple. If there is no public interest, nobody will answer. They will just defend themselves. Understand that the only wish of the trustee is for us to go bankrupt very fast, but it will not happen. And Bo, coming back to the question about the Meet ID, it's one of the reasons why I don't want to get the Meet ID from. It has to come from him. I will not fight because I need to have proper service. I really think you're missing something. A lawyer cannot lie, especially from a serious. That is absurd. Lawyers lie all the time. Lawyers are the biggest liars in the world. That's their job. They protect criminals. How can you say that, Marcel? A lawyer cannot. This I have to tattoo. A lawyer cannot lie. I will share one of my books, Detecting Lying by Sam Harris, and you will see that 90% of the lying comes from lawyers. I recommend that to you. It's even more dangerous, Marcel, because you believe they cannot lie, and that's why they lie more. I have a very simple philosophical approach to this one. If there is an explanation that I'm missing, then he has the obligation to educate me to be able to tell it to you. And if I'm stupid, he has to come forward and say it. Otherwise, it's lying by omission, which is the form of lying that is the most dangerous. To lie by omission or to lie by not doing your job, or it's a form of corruption and stupidity that should be addressed quite seriously. Should all the Danes join forces and call the trustee? You are Danish. We had Bo is a very very professional human being. First of all, that has directly contacted me and has basically explained to me a lot of let's say the feelings around investors, because I understand that Denmark is a country where and I learned a lot in Denmark, where you have a lot, let's say you count all your strategies based on this TILAD system, the trust. And I can tell you this is transforming some situations in extremely dangerous ones. So going back to, should the Danes join forces and call the trustee? I believe that a petition should be made. Well, you can start it. I don't know if that's typical, but I believe that you should start a petition with all the shareholders, or maybe with Wojtek, you can do it together and sign it as many as possible and try to figure it out. At least it will give a reply to Marcel. What is the missing something? Okay. SR haven't had any statutory audit for 50 months. Who reliable is the books? Can figures be verified and can evaluation be based upon old figures? I guess they talking about trustee destroying value is difficult. We don't have any present values to measure. We have present values to measure from creditor report number 2. Present value is 0. And again, you're missing the point because you were not part of the discussion, Luis. Shape Robotics, SR, Shape Robotics Denmark, has no value, doesn't need to do audit. The audit of Shape Robotics is just a simple procedure that takes into account the audit of the subsidiaries. And by the way, the subsidiaries are audited, including this year. So there is audit in Shape Robotics done. It's That's why I'm saying that trustee only wanted to pay back the money to Danske. Guys, see beyond the seriousness of a law firm. They are crooks. How the hell a trustee that is the lawyer of the main creditor at that time, okay, should protect the interests of others? You're counting on the fact that he's serious or he doesn't lie? Come on. That's why in 26 countries from the European Union is forbidden to have a trustee representing a creditor. And suddenly in Denmark this works because it's a trust system. Guys, let's be serious. So Luis, you get the point. All the subsidiaries are audited up to the end of 25. So there is no need to audit Denmark. 25 up to date. So just before the bankruptcy. What do you mean which firm? Bayerholm used to audit the group, but they didn't do the audit in the subsidiaries. They hired the local firms for every subsidiaries to do the audit. And the local companies that were hired by Bayerholm for the last 2 years did the audit. So the same companies as before. Yes, Anaco is audited, yes. But we have a valuation report for Sanaco. So we purchased Sanaco in May, and we have the valuation report for Sanaco, which is valid 1 year. Do you want me to share that valuation report with you? Let me find it. Maybe I can share it with you. Okay, I'm just searching for the valuation report while people will ask me more. Yeah, and I have also the purchase price allocation. I will share it to you. So I have the valuation report for the 94.8 million that was used to when we purchased the asset. What is the declared asset value of Sanaco end of fiscal year 25? Let me share that with you. End of fiscal year 25, I don't have access to those documents. It was finalized, but they didn't send it to me. I only have 25 May. Yeah, I will share the balance sheet and audited balance sheet on the. It's much better idea, Bjarke. I will share everything. So let me answer to Marcel the assets. Okay. Okay. Can you all see the screens? So this is from August 25. Okay. So very recent. Okay. And let's search assets to make it very, very real time with everybody. I don't know why. This is done by our K Advisory, which is also the auditor for Poland. So the trademark for Sanaco is valued at 1.33 million. Value of Sanaco customer relationship 1.6. IP value 3.9 million. Goodwill recognized with goodwill 7.5 million value of the asset in August 25. Can you go to Thijs and ask him how he calculated zero? Maybe he doesn't lie. Come on. Come on, guys. Starting to become Candace Owens. Yeah, but Marcel, I have the papers again. Don't trust me. I don't ask anybody to trust me. I'm a untrustworthy person. What's the point? How important is that? Sorry, Mark, I'm spamming because I own the value of a medium premium car in Shape Robotics stock and I sell when the stock will be trading. I will lose a lot, so I'm asking to make sure that the right call not to dump. Because what you're telling us sounds almost too good to be true, excluding the trustee blockade. I don't understand what you mean. What you mean I didn't share this before? It's shared, everything is shared. But Marcel, it has to be a dialogue. I don't know what's in your mind. For me, all the questions that you are so for me to be able to share something I have that bothers you, I have to know what bothers you because you have different understanding of how this goes through, and it's normal for you to criticize. How we shared the audit of it's shared on when we purchased the company through company announcements. It is signed off. What do you mean it's not shared? It's illegal not to share it. It was shared, yeah. Can I just 1 second put a pause on it? I need the water. 1 second. I'll be back. Okay. Okay, I am back. So, any other questions? Have you understood everything? Bo, are you still there? I think it's important that the biggest challenges right now are surviving without any of these documents because, we had a discussion today regarding the fact that um, what you wrote to me. Let me figure it out 1 second. You wrote something to me because I think you looked at. Yeah, 1 second. So, Bo, you wrote to me that we discussed about Nasdaq and the uncertainty about the company's existence, and that's the fact that they are blocking basically the trading. But I don't think that getting the papers from the trustee will unlock Nasdaq by default. In my opinion, the only thing that will unlock Nasdaq by default is pressure from investors like you, Marcel, so on and so forth. What's your next move after you receive the documents? Read them. Honestly, read them with my penal lawyer, my criminal case lawyer. But what I would do is, of course, I will share it with you on the portal. So, what do you think, Bo? What should we do? You're the trusted advisor. I'm not upset on Nordnet. Come on. That's the only way. Like Bo says, okay, so investors should join forces. Yes. Yes, I think investors should. And I think that it's a message that you should also rally to Nordnet, Bo. It's impossible. There are 4,300 investors that have owned shares into Shape that are retailers. Why don't you start a Discord or something simple? No, Facebook. No, no, no. Try to. Marcel, can you start a petition? Or Bo? Anyone? There are petition. How do you start a petition in Denmark? Yeah, you can do it on. I think that, like Peter says, how can I fight it? That what I would do without anything, I will call the trustee every day. Petition like this thing. It's not ethical, but it works. What he's doing is not ethical either. Bo, you said you called the trustee today, or I'm wrong? Yeah. Peter, they are not ethical either. Peter, Peter. Yeah, but coordinate a little bit with some of the shareholders, because I think that so Bo, if you say that you will call him tomorrow, I think that you should I don't know, at least read what I said. I will send you the privately the request right now. I'm sending you right now the request for documents that I have sent to the trustee, so you know where to start. Yeah, Cosmin, I posted on LinkedIn many times and I also tagged him, but you need to amplify it somehow. I'm not a social media guru. Maybe we put it on TikTok and Călin Georgescu can amplify it. Can we find the people behind that campaign, maybe? So, both do we agree that I sent you the Sanako A purchase and you ask him how did he book it at zero when it was worth that, and why doesn't he send the price? Maybe. Sorry, the documents. I think that's the way. What I believe that works honestly is to try to find some sort of a journalistic act that could report this in a proper way. Share the number of the trustee. It's on its website. He's a lawyer. You're supposed to trust him. I think, Bo, it should be you, the one that calls it. I don't want to, but you have a very. First of all, you are quite heavily invested also in Shape, and I would say that you have a standing. But what about going to the press? You know, press is against me, but it should not be against all of you. No, what do you think about that? Doesn't somebody have some sort of a connection to the press? Peter Yul Mortensen, I'm getting lawyers can lie tattoo. Yeah, but honestly, Finance has done something very strong from their case because they are behind this Danish protection system. But I'm not going to do it myself. So I've sent all this information. So at least from this perspective, it should be also other voices involved. Euro investor, yes, could be a very good avenue to go through. Marketwire.dk. They're not part of the same group as Finance and Borsen. Yes, we'll just stay for maximum 8 minutes. I will call it a day for 8:30, 7:30. So, Luis, still there? Anybody has any other kind of questions? Peter, let me check also on LinkedIn. Oh, I think that everybody moved to Substack. It's actually quite easy to watch it here. Bo, any other questions from Sherville that you think are worth answering? Let's see what they posted tonight. Progression. Ah, he posted something. The progression is watching my live stream, I believe. What do you think? Let's answer to. Yeah, now the sound is on. I move the microphone. Okay. Sorry, I just disconnected the microphone. Okay, so let me. Bo, can you translate that message from progression on Sherville? I don't understand what he's saying in English because I think he's speaking in upper, higher elf language. I don't know. How do we protect ourselves when trading resumes? I think a lot of investors will dump. That's probably difficult to answer. I don't know. So I think that that's like I said. Welcome to Denmark. Marketwire and Finance have the same owner. Borsen, Finance, Marketwire is the same owner. What's the name? The other one, Electronic Supply or IT Watch. I don't know. They all have the same owner. So it's impossible for me to have. And of course, all of them are friends with Carnegie, who's their main sponsor. So it's beautiful. When I decided to say anything about Carnegie, suddenly disaster. I'm taking care of you. I'm open. I'm trying to open trade. What you do with your money is up to you personally. I do not offer financial advice. So I try to. I have an idea, but why don't you call Matthias from Friedheitsbrevet, the one that covered the Carnegie dump? The only, or Mats Brugger, but both of them are have talked to me, and I would prefer to have some sort of external support. I think Mats would love to hear that Rusty has made what he has made, but not from me. Let me give you the number of Matthias, okay? I cannot offer any protection to. I can only tell you that everything that happens right now is not linked to any sort of crooked activity like it was before. Maybe there is a way, Bo. Maybe there is a way that you talk to Matthias and you put an advertorial in his paper, some sort of an article where you ask, you present the situation as it is, like a paid commercial or something, in which just people rally on the topic. I think that's the only newspaper, at least, that it's quite independent. Crooked as before. I mean the Carnegie board situation. Yeah, I think that this question has been explained quite well. You can reply to him if you see fit. The Carnegie, sorry, the A4 credits termination has been properly explained at the beginning of the video. From my point of view, um, it should have never happened. I had nothing, about sharing things. You cannot share possibilities, you need to share facts. So as long as that termination was still, um, we were still battling that termination, we didn't have any court order, we didn't have anything, we didn't have a default, we cannot share those informations. It's market manipulation. How can I share information that are tentative? Maybe we will have a default. And the fact that somebody says that you should pay by tomorrow or you should do um, uh, day after tomorrow, it's the future. Yeah, he said that he's busy, but I think that he's not so busy if he writes comments on. I think honestly, I think this guy is an insider. He's one of the people that left the company. To just a mumbo jumbo. Good. Any other questions, Bo? Do you think that we should cover anything, guys? I think it was quite good discussion. That's one. Because how confident are you with fighting? Yes, Marcel, you can do. I think talk to Bo. Try to figure out how you should coordinate. I trust in Bo. Cosmin, how confident are you with fighting the bankruptcy case when it comes back from the lower courts for retrial? First of all, it comes back from the higher courts to the lower courts, just to put it in perspective. And When it goes to retrial, we don't know how it should be tried. So now I'm going to go into some sort of a legal argument here, and I kindly ask you to follow the idea. So the bankruptcy was declared because we have not paid money due to two employees, Trade and Danske Bank. It's very important to understand something. Danske Bank had an agreement with us in which we were paying them, which is public information, we were paying them the owed amount in 6 tranches. We paid the first tranche, and the condition was that the same trustee, the same lawyer that was the trustee, Mr. Tace, signed a contract with us saying that they will withdraw any bankruptcy claims. Now it becomes very tricky because at the meeting on the 6th, when the bankruptcy was declared, Tace joined the meeting on behalf of Danske Bank by breaching the contract. So it's not his fault in this case, because Danske Bank has instructed him to go to the court and breach our agreement that was current, not due. So we were in a current agreement with them. For that reason, Tace returned the money that he cashed in on behalf of Danske Bank in an escrow account. He returned it to the estate. It is written in creditor meeting number 2. That money right now is in an escrow account because Tace refuses to pay it back to us because he says that Danske Bank has a claim on that money. If Danske Bank has a claim on that money, yes, Bo, you can share that contact to Matthias. No problem. He's a very nice guy. So Danske Bank has a claim on the money that they received, part of a settlement agreement. Very important. Money received through a settlement agreement that was declared null and void by their breach of the settlement agreement. Therefore, right now, technically speaking, Danske Bank has a claim on us that derives from the default of the credit facility. The settlement agreement between us and them is void and null. They have to return the money to us and go back to another settlement. And that's the problem with Tace, and I believe that's why he's not answering honestly, is because he is stealing that money. He knows that the money should not be given back to Danske. Otherwise, he would have given that to Danske. And basically, right now, Tace has said that he puts it in an escrow because there is a dispute between me and Danske. But how can he do that? Because he's the lawyer of Danske. So Danske, through Tace, decides with Tace on the same money we have. It's absurd. This is not normal. So coming back to fighting the bankruptcy, first of all, we need to understand who is part of the bankruptcy. Because if Tace comes back as the lawyer of Danske as part of that bankruptcy, we have a problem with him at that time. So it should be another petition, in my opinion. But let's go back now to the bankruptcy. Initial bankruptcy claim. Trade and 2 employees were the ones that started the bankruptcy, and then by Tace intervening on behalf of Danske, it went into bankruptcy as they defaulted on their agreement. So very simple. Right now, Trade, who is the originator of the petition, we are in discussion with them to withdraw the claim. So we are 95% sure that there is not going to be the same petition. So a new bankruptcy petition will have to be served, not the one from the High Court. Who will serve that petition? Either the employees, but there is another challenge here because the employees have gotten the money from the governmental fund. And of course, what we will do in the bankruptcy claim, we will refuse to pay to the employees, as we do not consider those employees to having money to pay from our side. It's a different story. And with Trade, we are in a negotiation. So right now, this bankruptcy claim that we're talking about, it's only Theis as a lawyer of Danske playing both sides, all against us. So the imminent I think that then that what we need is smart play, not imminent financing, Bjarke. Because one of the gravest mistakes, and that's what I suppose that is important that Bo also discuss and puts it into perspective. And Bo, you can share your contact information if you want here, or you can an email is not a problem to share. It's you don't need to share your personal number. I think don't need to be spam. So what I'm saying is that basically what we need is strategy on how do we recuperate first the money. With the money is with, imagine that the bankruptcy claim was half of the amount that Theis is arresting in its escrow account. And one thing is very so. In conclusion for tonight, because I think everybody is tired. You have three things that are wrong. Theis doesn't give us the paper, doesn't give us the money, and on top of that, very important, he canceled the EGM. For what reason did he cancel the EGM? Imagine that he canceled the EGM knowing that there is an appeal going on. So his decision to be trustee was not final. He never thought that he will lose in the appeal, and he lost. So my question to everybody in conclusion is, why in the God's name did he cancel the EGM? Imagine that if we had that EGM today, I would have issued shares. No matter what the price would be, I have investors. We will get money in and everything would be solved. That's the reason why I think that he did a disaster. Why cancel the EGM? Why cancel out the shareholders? He has a lot of questions to answer. Makes sense what I'm saying? Everybody understands? Maybe progression will understand also. We are not in the same setup. It doesn't matter what was before. We are in right now in a twilight zone, in a situation where everybody can do whatever they think it's good to do because nobody has a recipe for this one. This is the problem, the biggest challenge here. In Denmark, things work very well, very precise if there is a recipe, if there is a model, if there is a pattern. The second there isn't a model to apply to, things go south. That's my understanding of the situation. You can contradict me, guys, because you live there. But the society is so well prepared to operate when everything works fine. The second that it doesn't work fine or is not part of a setup, this is when it dies. Everything becomes chaotic. Your advantage here is that I'm coming from a society where 80% doesn't work. So it's perfect. You have the perfect person here. I'm joking. Have a very good evening, guys. It was a pleasure. We spent like 1.4 hours here. Hope this covers a lot, and I really appreciate if you would share this because this one answers to a lot of questions. And yeah, let's try to turn this around. If there are no more questions, have a very good evening. Enjoy the night. See you tomorrow.